Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
We are back for the Wolf and Badge podcast. We are going to hit a different topic today. Obviously, I am Wolf and that is Badge.
This is Badge.
And we are going to hit on a conspiracy theory today. But first, before we do so, is there any conspiracy theory, Eric, or Badge? Sorry, Badge. Is there any conspiracy theory that you believe in? Wholeheartedly. Like birds aren't real?
No, aliens. But that's already been proven.
Well, UFOs have been proven.
Okay.
Unidentified flying objects, but... Or
Look
what do they call them, UAPs now or something? I don't know.
I'm just down for it. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the most realistic thing. Only because I feel like if there's going to be... Like, if you think we're the only things that exist, especially if the galaxy is as big as they say it is, like... You're going to tell me out of all this shit, we're the only things that are living? Like,
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I got a bridge to sell you.
I just don't think that they're portrayed. I think there's probably aliens that look just like us. You know what I mean? They look like people. I think you're gonna find. I think there's gonna be creatures like it legit. Star Wars, dude. Like, I really think that's the universe. I don't think. I don't think that's too far off.
Okay. Yeah, and I think it's all about the friends you make along the way. For sure. So, with our conspiracy theory type of episode we're going to do today, has nothing to do with aliens. Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Or maybe it does. And that's for you, the viewer, to decide. So, Eric, please enlighten us with what we're going to be talking about today.
Dude,
I know you're excited for
I hate that we're even going to discuss it, but we're doing it on Flat Earth.
Flat Earth theory. So what is Flat Earth theory, Eric? Or Badge? I'm getting there, guys. It'll be only Badge going forward, I promise. Just work with
so it's as it states. Everyone thinks the Earth is a floating disc.
Floating disc.
A flat disc. The Earth isn't round. Everybody's fucking crazy. You know, I'm going to apologize in advance because this topic, I don't know why it drives the anger out in me, but I just feel like this is like one of the most ridiculous conspiracies I've ever heard.
So, and this theory of Flat Earth goes back a long time, Badge. I'm talking long time. So we're looking at like early Egyptian, Mesopotamian. They portrayed the world as a disc floating in the ocean. And I know that we're supposed to go in here unbiased, but I can tell immediately that you are, and you think this is the dumbest shit in the world.
It is, but I guess I'm always up. Like, the reason this is awesome is because as we start dishing facts, as we start talking about it, breaking it down, you know, it's just interesting to hear both sides.
It is. And I think that we are going to hear a lot of weird facts about this that are going to either make you look at Flat Earth as it could be a possibility, or you're going to look at it and be like, that is the dumbest fucking shit I've ever heard in my life. But I don't think, we probably won't change a lot of opinions just based off it. But like I said, it does go back a long ways. Even the Israelites imagine the earth to be a disc floating on water with an arched firmament above it that separated the earth from the heavens. So, not crazy to think that, like, a lot of people used to think that. Now, a lot of ancient cultures, that is. That goes through for a while, but then we eventually learn that the world is round. And like we've talked about this in the past. I know we were talking about this a little bit before the show, but modern flat Earth belief is a little different from the old ones. I'll give them a pass because you know what? Like, if I'm living in Greece, I'm like a little peasant. I think that someone comes across the sky in a chariot to turn on the sun. What the hell was that?
That's that flat Earth theory coming.
What the? I am so fucking sorry, aliens. No, the So if you're like, say, a peasant or something in Greece in 930 BC,
That's a fair belief.
yeah, it makes sense. Like,
Because
I think
you
a guy in a chariot turns on the sun each morning because I'm a fucking dum-dum. Like, I don't know anything about anything. But now...
this look at this is my
Okay.
thing, man, and this is this is my argument through and through. Okay, I could understand back in the day because you know why? You weren't flying.
Like,
You
in
weren't
airplanes stuff?
you weren't coming off the ground. What you knew was the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Flying through the air was impossible. That wasn't a possible task. You know.
So, because they can fly, the flat Earth
Listen, have you ever
falls?
been in a fucking airplane?
I have, yes.
Look out the window. You can see the bend in the earth. Like
The
even
curvature and
only
everything?
it's there. Like if you believe the earth is flat, you've clearly never been in an airplane.
Okay.
Because you know what would happen if you were to go up 3,400 feet in the air. You could see so much earth. So by theory, especially because of how far out the human eye can see, if you're up 3,400 feet, if the Earth's flat, I should probably be able to see the UK.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean? I mean that's
I don't know about math and science. But I would think that would be a possibility.
right. I mean, okay, maybe not. Okay, but
Unless
I
there's
should
a
at least be
cloud.
able to fly up. Okay, and I could look, and I'd be like, look, there's New Jersey. You know, even then, like coming. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be that hard. You could see because everything would be flat. You could see the Statue of Liberty. You could see, you know, Empire
Like
State.
Guido eating a piece of
Dude,
pizza.
everything.
in
You
Jersey.
should be able to see all the tall monuments that are up that high. You know what I mean? Like that's it. And like I said, you can see the bend when you're up that high. You can see the curvature of the earth.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely can see the curvature. I've seen it. I feel like I know flat Earth groups of the modern era date to the middle of last century, like the 50s, 40s, something like that. Those who are serious are often motivated by religion, though, or conspiracy theories.
Yep.
And social media probably hasn't been the best thing for not spread. Like, it spread like wildfire on social media.
Well, yeah, because you can say whatever you want on the internet.
Yeah, and you can get in your own little thought bubbles,
Yeah.
and you're just like,
It's called going down the rabbit hole, my friend. And then it's like, oh, and then you just start false believing. Like it's
yeah. And like I said, many ancient cultures believed that the Earth, the Sun, the Moon, the planets were flat, as they appear that way to an untrained. Like, if I'm looking at the Moon, and I'm like in the ancient times, like, yeah, it looks kind of flat to me. Like, but even back then, they were able to prove the moon wasn't flat. And some, I know that there's different beliefs. Some believe that, like, all the planets are round, and ours is the only flat
yeah,
one.
we're the only flat one. That's actually in
Which-
my notes. I have that written down.
Which I don't the Greeks were the first ones to deduce that all the planets were spheres. That was a scientific consensus back in the day. And contrary to popular belief, the Earth was actually generally not believed to be flat until a few hundred years ago. Like, they didn't just believe the Earth was flat during Christopher Columbus times. They didn't believe they'd fall off the Earth. That was not true. It's been widely accepted that we live on a fucking globe. By scholars, universally by scholars, since, like, 31 BC at least. Like, you're looking at, like, before Jesus, we knew that
Yeah, the
was
Earth's round. Yeah.
It wasn't until the late 1800s that flat Earth kind of came back. It came back in a fad. So,
And that's all it takes is one guy to spread a false story.
and The guy is an English writer named Samuel Rowbotham.
Yeah, I gotta stop saying false story because it's a theory. I apologize.
We don't know for sure. I'm sorry. Based on conclusions, he did something called the Bedford Level Experiment. The Bedford Level Experiment was a series of observations carried along a 6-mile length of the Old Bedford River in the United Kingdom. It claimed to prove that the Earth was flat. If this is what he wrote in a book called The Zetetic Astronomy. If the Earth is a globe and is 25,000 English statute miles in circumference, the surface of all standing water must have a certain degree of convexity. Every part must be an arc of a circle. From the summit of any such arc, there will exist a curvature or declination of 8 inches in the first statute mile. In the second mile, the fall will be 32 inches. In the third, 72 inches or 6 feet, as shown in the following diagram. And he goes on, etc. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, but that was his experiment. He published a pamphlet, writing under the name Parallax, and expanded it into a book called Earth Not a Globe. Pretty fucking upfront about it. He proposed the Earth was a flat disk, where the center is the North Pole, and bounded along its southern edge by a wall of ice.
Which would be Antarctica.
Antarctica, yep. And
150-foot tall wall.
Jesus Christ. And he further held that the sun and moon were actually 3,000 miles above Earth, and the cosmos was even higher above the Earth than that, by another 3,000. So, like, the sun and moon apparently are just, like, hanging there, and then, like, the rest of the stars are above them. He argued that the Bible alongside our senses support the idea that Earth was flat and immovable, and this essential truth should not be set aside for a system based solely on human conjecture. So this dude was all in, man. Like, he's like, dude, this shit's flat. I don't know about the Bedford Level Experiment. I guess I probably shouldn't have mentioned it if I was going to do the research on it, but...
Well, see, so that's, once again, that's my problem with all of my notes, is there is no... I pretty much looked up bases of the theory,
right? Yep. And
then I jotted them down. You know what I mean? So
that's all right. The historical stuff is what interests me anyway, man. Like, this is what I love.
So, but the crazy thing is what did you say his name was?
I think it's Samuel Rowbotham.
Okay, so I saw his name pop up.
He's like the father of modern flat Earth.
Yeah. That was the so he resided out of Dover. That's where it says like the main, like,
okay,
that's where that's like the main part. So what I have too that take away from that, I didn't know if this was him that came up with this or not, but they say gravity is fake. The Earth, gravity is fake. It doesn't exist because we're not being pulled, rather being pushed by a mysterious force called dark energy.
Okay. And I've heard of dark energy and obviously gravity, but
so
I've never heard that.
And it comes back, which is weird to me, because in a lot of the other theories too, they claim that space doesn't exist. So
space doesn't exist.
They said space doesn't exist, and that, like, what does this say? Space doesn't exist, and the disk, which is Earth, just sits still. So I guess I don't understand where, but they believe the sun and the moon exist and the stars exist. But if space doesn't exist, then where does that come from?
It's like a mobile, like in a baby,
right?
Like,
or and the other thing too is if they claim that dark energy is what, if gravity doesn't exist and dark energy is what keeps us here, that's an astronomy and a physical cosmology like theory. You know what I mean? It's a mysterious force that comes from space. So if space doesn't exist, you know what I mean? Like, how does...
Yeah, I guess that kind of feels like it falls on its face a little.
And that's what I mean when you start digging into theories. It's kind of hard to, stay on task and be like, oh, you're right. But then when you start throwing facts out, or attempted facts, out there that contradict. It's like, well, that doesn't make any sense because that won't exist, especially because you don't believe that exists. So there's no way that could be.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. The guy you're talking about from Dover is Samuel Shenton.
Okay, that's what.
And that was
I
in
saw
1956, so this is later. And he was into alt science and tech, and they all rely on religious arguments, though. But he's much less on it than the last one. But this was before the Soviet Union launched the first satellite, Sputnik. I don't know if you've heard of Sputnik before. So the first satellite launched in space was by the Soviet Union during the space race. And he responded, would sailing around the Isle of Wight prove that it were spherical? It is just the same for those satellites. So he's pretty much saying, like, they can fly around the, like, Earth, but, like, it doesn't prove anything. At least in my thoughts on that. But he wanted to reach children, which is always fucking weird to me. Because before they were convinced about a spherical Earth. So he wanted to reach kids before they found out the Earth was round. Because he felt like they were pre-programmed. A little bit weird, but also at the same time you can look at spherical Earth as like maybe they're being programmed to believe the Earth is spherical. Plenty of publicity. The space race eroded his support, though. Because of the space race. He started to gain attention during the Apollo program, which was in like 1967, when satellite images started coming in showing Earth as a sphere. The pictures of Earth as a sphere. He remarked, when he saw these pictures, it's easy to see how a photograph like that could fool the untrained eye. So a photograph wasn't enough for him, obviously. He was later asked about similar pictures taken by other astronauts, and he attributed curvature to the use of a wide-angle lens, adding, it's a deception to the public, and it isn't right. What is your thoughts on that? A wide-angle lens?
God, I hate this topic so much. I just, and I understand, dude. I get it. Okay, they do have wide-angle lenses that curve, but you know what? You could fabricate pictures. I understand.
You can. And this is the 60s. Even then, you could fabricate.
Even then, you could fabricate. Yes, you can. And I guess at the end of the day, too, do we actually know?
Well, that's what this whole thing's about.
Because like, this is my thing. I can't go to space, and I feel like you have to trust, though, because we are going to space. If you don't believe that we're going to space, then I feel like that's I don't know. It's crazy. Like, we literally watch it happen. You know what I mean?
It's a pretty large segment of the population that doesn't even believe we land on the moon.
Yeah. And that's a whole different theory.
Huge. Yeah, that's a whole one we might get to another day. This is just flat Earth, but
yeah. But but it's at the same time, like, because I'm not going, I have to trust that eventually those photographs are. I mean, and it's straight up like they have photos of an astronaut in front of, like, he's in space and Earth is behind him. You know what I mean? Like that. Like,
eventually, when it comes to, and I feel like this is anything, you have to have some sort of faith in something eventually, because you can be that person that's like, if I don't see it with my own eyes, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I know some people like that. Like, true. Like, definitely with your own, but even your own eyes can fool you.
They can.
They can fool you.
They can.
But even so, you have to have faith. And if people like, and I'm not saying the Samuel Shepton or whatever, because he's a little bit less, Shenton, he's a little bit less religious than the other guys in the past. But if you can have faith in Lord Jesus or God or anything like that, you can have faith that we're living on a fucking ball too.
Yeah.
But some people believe that we're living on the back of a turtle.
Yeah,
some of the Native Americans. So I mean, like,
that's true.
At the end of the day, it is what it is. But he did make the Flat Earth Society, so he made a whole group about it. There's the logo.
Yep, I just seen that. I just pulled that up on my phone. Yeah.
So, cool little Flat Earth logo. He persuaded a guy named Ellis Hillman to become president of it and take the role. And it looks like Shenton eventually would die in 71. And it kind of goes through a few years of people moving on like taken over the Flat Earth Society. A conspiracy against Flat Earth. They spent years examining the studies of flat and round Earth theories and proposed evidence of a conspiracy against Flat Earth. That is, the idea of a spinning globe is only a conspiracy of error that Moses, Columbus, and FDR all fought. This was written by a guy named Charles K. Johnson. So he published that in Science Digest in 1980. And then it goes on to state, if it is a sphere, the surface of a large body of water must be curved. The Johnsons have checked the surfaces of Lake Tahoe and the Salton Sea and did not detect any curvature. Johnson issued many publications, did all the applications, and he stuck by his belief. He cited the Bible for his beliefs. This guy did. So, like I said, religion taken center stage again. He saw scientists as pulling a hoax that would replace religion with science.
Of course.
So he was afraid that religion was going to be replaced.
Which is the big thing. That is a big... Those are two of the biggest competing things when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Could be a little bit of both.
Yep.
The Flat Earth Society's most recent planet model is that humanity lives on a disk with the North Pole at its center, 150-foot high wall of ice in Antarctica as the outer edge, and they said it actually resembles the map of the symbol of the United Nations, which looks like that, in case you've never seen it.
Okay.
Which, I mean, if it was a flat Earth, they're saying pretty much like, look at the globe that way, from top to bottom, which he uses evidence. And the sun and moon are apparently each 32 miles in diameter. So the sun is way smaller than what they're saying.
Yet we stay warm. It heats the entire flat Earth.
I guess so. Flat Earth Society recruited members by speaking against the government and all its agencies, especially NASA. These fuckers hate NASA. Those
It's hard.
NASA
It's hard,
guys.
dude. It's hard to like somebody that has proof.
Yeah, they do not like NASA. Much of society's literature in its early days, the society's literature, focused on interpreting the Bible to mean that the Earth was flat. Although they did try to offer scientific explanations and evidence. So yeah, I don't know, man. There's a lot of criticism against it too.
I can't imagine why. Sorry. I know. I'm trying to be biased, damn it. I know. I knew. See, we were coming into this damn topic, and I already knew because I've already, I'm a human being. I have opinions too, and it's not like I've talked about it.
Just friends talking about it, yeah.
And I try to listen to you both sides. Dude, I do my damn best. But like this one, God, it is. And the more I'm reading, so as you're talking, I'm researching myself, and I'm trying to make sure I'm not like double taking topics because you've covered a lot of the topics that
sorry, man.
No, you're good because it all makes sense. It all flows together in the story. Like the same guy that pretty much came up with all this shit, I just keep running into weirder and weirder and weirder stuff. And I guess the other hard part for me too is the more I read, you start to see more, and I feel like they just get more contradicting.
Oh, yeah.
The further it goes, because like Earth's is a disc, it's flat, and in this article right here, it claims we're allegedly a pizza-shaped Earth, like.
And the continents of the pepperoni. I like it,
dude. Like, this is crazy. Like,
is it crazier than being on a marble though? In the middle of fucking space?
But there's proof. No one has ever taken a picture of Earth flat. I've never seen a picture of it. I've seen someone draw me a map.
Yeah, I mean a 2D shape on the map, yeah.
But I have seen they literally have globes in schools because
and say Earth is flat. Why the fuck are we hiding it? Like, what would they get from that? Like, is there money to be made from our flat Earth?
From our flat Earth. Like, that's what I mean. Like, the reason this can, like, I think that's what pisses me off the most about this theory, because, like, there's no gain other than someone going, I was right. Like.
Yeah, that's my thing, too, is, like, and we're going to talk about a little bit of some of the people who've tried to disprove the round Earth. I know some flat earthers actually believe that the Flat Earth Society is a government-controlled organization whose true purpose is to make the most ridiculous claims about flat Earth and discredit them. So they think that they're like Flat Earth Society is a way to make them look stupid. That's what's doing it. That's what's doing it. So that's some weird.
And the
criticism
further
on
we
it.
go, the further we go, the further we go. Like,
So, like, Flat Earth Societies all over the world, though. Like, Canada's got it. Established in 1970 in Canada. You have it in Italy. There's no centralized societies there, but, like, small groups of conspiracy theorists meet up. They carry out meetings. Obviously, you have it in the United States. But what really, really triggered the Flat Earth, can you guess what it was that really got this shit flying?
I don't have, dude. I don't have a clue.
The internet. The internet.
Duh. Yeah, that's
So really research. So in November 2017, more than 500 people, 500 people paid as much as $250 each to attend the first ever Flat Earth conference in Raleigh, North Carolina.
you had to pay to go to a conference. How does that make any
A
sense?
lot of them do that. I know. I think my sister pays to go to travel conferences and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, just because they give like tips and tricks and stuff.
Yeah, into flat Earth.
It's just like they have conferences, man. They probably rented out like the Best Days Inn, right offside the highway. Gonna get the conference room. You guys need any more of anything? Lava? See that south? You guys need some more flat Earth stuff? You guys need some flatware? So according to 2018 YouGov opinion poll, 66% of millennials firmly believe the Earth is round. You think that's good, but that's not good. That's like 44% of millennials think the Earth is not round.
And that's, dude, and that's just because that is just the damn world we live in where, as sad as it is to say, saying that the Earth is round isn't cool no more because everybody believes that. You know what I mean? So, of course, that makes sense. As weird as that is for a modern day thing, that's what it is. It's not cool to know that
the Earth round.
Yeah, it's not cool, dude.
It's just a weird flex, man.
Dude.
It's a weird one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of celebrities that believe the Earth is flat.
Of course there are.
You
And they've all
may-
been in planes too. Tell me they haven't.
Wilson Chandler, basketball player, for mostly with the Knicks and the Nuggets, I believe. Draymond Green, you know Draymond,
Wow, I do, yeah.
flat earther.
Really?
Kyrie Irving, huge flat earther. From what I've read, B.O.B. has been on the record. The rapper,
Yep.
he made a song about airplanes. Why can't airplanes in the night sky be like shooting stars? He really wants to know because he doesn't get on airplanes apparently. So,
Dude, and I'm being dead ass serious, dude. Like, these people just, maybe because they're flying, does first class have windows?
does first class have the windows, man?
Do
Like,
they have windows? Can you guys not look
dude, if
out
I'm
the
paying
plane?
first class and I don't have windows, I'm gonna be fucking
Dude, you know what I
pissed.
mean? Like, and I'm gonna stick to that, dude. It is crazy. Flying a plane, look out the window, dude. I'm dead ass serious. Like, God, this is so ridiculous.
But with the internet, like internet era that we're in, whether it be Twitter or X or whatever they fucking call it, Facebook, YouTube, it is so easy, whether being a celebrity or not, to spread misinformation and attract others to your ideas. So like that's where flat earth is kind of taken off, is people will talk, like, go on to Facebook groups. You can find flat earth shit on Facebook.
I really don't wanna.
Like with like-minded people that have been. I found one on there talking about how Finland wasn't real. The country of Finland is not real.
And I feel like that's the category that this falls in. Is I think this, and I'm really not trying to be an ass. I know I'm sounding like a complete ass, and I'm trying not to, but I feel like this theory, and people that believe it, I feel like it's just like that. It's in that category. Finland is real. That's a real place.
So have you been to Finland?
I haven't been.
So what they this is not what this topic's on, but I remember being like super dumbfounded when I found this. This was about 10 years ago. They believe Finland is actually water in that little chunk, and it's got a bunch of oil in it or something. And when you actually fly to Finland and you get off the plane, you're not actually in Finland. You're in Russia somewhere. And they want to keep it secret because of all the oil there. Like, why? Just say you're in Russia. The fuck we doing, man? Like, that one really, like, that one was dumb.
People live
That was 10 years ago.
People live there.
Yeah, people are born in Helsinki, dude.
Dude.
Crazy. So,
But you know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about, though. It's just in that people just want to do it just because.
well, and I think with
something
this
to do.
misinformation of this day and age, because we have so much information at our fingertips, experts don't hold as much sway. Like, now you, like, hey, like, that expert may have said the Earth's round, but my brother's cousin Tommy, he's in prison now, but when he wasn't, he said
I heard
that
it.
the Earth was flat. And he had some good points, like,
He was never wrong.
if it wasn't flat, why ain't we falling off the edge?
You know what's funny is they actually,
Why do you say they? Have you picked a side?
no, in the movie Year One,
Oh,
they
the movie
actually
Year One.
they actually depict that too in the very beginning.
all about the
Yeah, because they go to climb over the mountain, and Michael Cera's character is like, we all know what's at the edge. It's just the edge. You fall off. There's nothing at the edge. You know what I mean?
yeah.
They thought they were at the edge of the earth, and then they're like, wow, look at there's a whole thing. You know, I feel like that's kind of the same depict on that theory. I feel like that was like a shot at that.
Probably, yeah. I mean, like, and like I said, ancient times it makes sense. Nowadays, it's really hard to make sense. We're a globalized society. We should know better by now. YouTube has actually faced criticism for allowing the spread of misinformation, conspiracy theories through it.
Yeah.
If you go on YouTube, man, you can find a bunch of shit about flat Earth.
Well, I mean, on YouTube you can find a bunch of crazy stuff about anything. Look up, dude. That's not like.
I fell asleep once. So here's a real story. I fell asleep once, and my kid, it was when I was a younger parent. I'm not that old, ladies. I'm like 34. But when I was a younger parent, I fell asleep. I think we were watching like some stupid. It was like a little kid playing with action figures or something that the kid liked, like my kid. She loved it. She's like, "Oh, I want to watch this girl play with fucking
Yeah, toys.
yeah, toys." I'm like, "That's weird, but whatever." Like, we all got our thing. So I fall asleep. I wake up, man, and she was sleeping too. She took a nap, and like, dude, it was not anything a child should be watching. Like, it completely went to like, it wasn't like raunchy shit or anything, but it was like a weird video of cartoon, but it was like animated for adults, and it was like, I think it was the Powerpuff Girls and Yo Gabba Gabba, and they were like bloody and kind of like flirting, like weird shit.
What
I'm
the
like,
hell?
what the fuck am I watching? I sat for a bit. I watched it, but no, I didn't. I shut it down. Obviously, I don't want my kid to have that pop up in our YouTube anything, and I think that was even before YouTube Kids was a thing. So like, it was fucking weird, dude. But YouTube has a lot of misinformation on it. I guess that's the bullet point of that presentation. So there's actually a documentary called Behind the Curve. It's about flat Earth believers in the United States, directed by Daniel Clark.
I feel like we should have watched that before.
Probably should have, yeah. And I probably will. It was released in 2018, like I said, and for wide release on Netflix. It should still be on Netflix, I think. But it details ideas of the flat Earth from different perspectives, including, like, prominent flat earthers, astrophysicists, and it kind of goes from there. So that's something that you might want to watch if you are interested in flat Earth. I personally am not. It seems to be a growing fad, but I don't know, man.
Listen, so I'm doing more research. Like, so what would you think? Because obviously the Earth has to sit on something. What is the Earth? What is the flat Earth sitting on?
Turtle. Is it a turtle?
It's not a turtle.
A little
It's
leather.
a very common. It's a very. I just feel like it's. I feel like it's a very unnecessary statement, but underneath Earth,
Is it
it's just rock.
just a rock?
It's just rock.
No, I was going
Earth-
to say a bag of Fritos. But
Earth,
like,
Earth is rock, and that's where I'm like, okay, well, yeah, because
I mean, we can agree that the Earth is made of
yeah,
rock.
the Earth is made of rock. I agree with you. Like that's literally not like arguable. However, upon reading more information, one speaker at the 2018 FEIC even argued that the Earth is neither a sphere nor a disk, but instead, it's shaped like a diamond.
I've heard the diamond theory. Yeah, like it's shaped like a diamond too.
So we have flat disk,
Diamond
diamond, pizza.
pizza. I like pizza best, so that's my Earth. I like to picture my Earth as like a pizza with like mushrooms and sausage on top.
Sausage on top.
It seems to go very conservative Christian beliefs, like kind of intertwined with flat Earth. It feels a lot. I don't know what the motivation of this conspiracy of round Earth and space. Like what? I'm just trying to figure out. And I know that we're sitting here, and I'm kind of like going off the cuff, but like, I just don't see the motivation of hiding a flat Earth if there is one.
Yeah, like, well, I mean, because that's the thing is, what, do you think everyone's going to go into a damn panic?
People say the Bible like states we're flat Earth.
Oh, really?
They are stating that, yeah. So according to internet influencer Rob Skiba, I don't know who that is, the ultimate motivation of the conspiracy of a round Earth in space, many of us have come to believe is hiding God. They're trying to hide God from us. Reading the Bible, when you break down the text of what it represents, there's no way you can get a spinning heliocentric globe out of anything in the Bible. In style and substance, the Flat Earth movement is a close cousin of creationism. So they believe that, like, we're hiding God, I guess, now that I'm reading that. So, I mean, I definitely see why we would want to hide God. Like, the proof there, but I just don't understand how having a heliocentric globe we live on a ball. Well, God can't be real.
Yeah. That doesn't make any sense.
It's either a disc with God or nothing.
If
I'm
it's-
not doing the ball with God. That's fucking wild.
If it's a fear with God, I'm out.
And obviously, these people, they don't trust things they don't see for themselves.
Yeah. And that's fair. You know, I'm not saying...
That is fair, but
Yeah, you see it to believe it. You know, and I'm all for that, dude. Oh, I've never... Like, that's what I was saying. I mean, I've seen pictures. I've seen scientific pictures, not a drawn map or an AI, like, art. You know, I've seen a legit picture of Earth. Round. Sphered.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
I've never seen the inside of a pig's asshole. But I'm gonna believe the veterinarian that tells me what it looks like because I don't need to see it. Like, that's my thing. Like, eventually you have to have a little faith. So
Dude, listen.
these people wouldn't believe that 9/11 happened unless they were like there and they lost their leg in 9/11 or something. Like, it's just, there's, like I said, you have to have faith at some point, man. Now 9/11 is a whole nother conspiracy. Sorry, guys. I know you guys have, like, as I'm talking about, I'm like, shit, I just picked another fucking conspiracy out, of course. Confirmation bias is also a way to maintain a counterfactual belief by cherry picking, and that's something that I think happens in a lot of conspiracy theories, where you cherry pick evidence that supports you, but then you completely dismiss anything that doesn't.
Just because. You're
And that's not just conspiracy, that's anything.
Yeah.
Like, when people argue nowadays, like, and it could be politics, it could be sports, it could be like, I could be like, yeah, dude, fucking Barry Sanders is the best running back of all time. Because he's fat. Yeah, he's what? That is a fact. Like, I'm just gonna be real.
That's a Raiders fan saying that. Remember that.
I'm a Raiders fan. But, like, I could say that, but, like, there's people who would be like, yo, man, dude, it's Emmitt Smith, man. It's Emmitt Smith. And you'd be like, how? Well, he's got more touchdowns, man. Okay, but did he also play more years? Like, so, like, they could, like, both sides can, like, take out evidence to support their claim.
Yeah. Actually, I just seen one today. Actually, now that you're saying that, it was between Ray Lewis and Brian Urlacher. Right? Brian Urlacher was way better. It's like, man.
But he was good, yeah,
he was
like,
great.
you
But
could-
he wasn't no Ray Lewis.
and that's so like that's like whatever you could like. It depends on. Are you going by sacks? Are you like T.J. Watt or J.J.
Yeah,
Watt?
you got to break the statistics down.
Yeah, like who's better at sacks? Well, you can find out by proof which one's better. But who's better at pressure? Like, and I know we're going into sports because we
Yeah.
both love football, but I guess I look at it like that. Like, you have a confirmation bias. You're going to dismiss the other evidence that doesn't agree with you.
Yeah.
Like, people do that. It's just normal in life. But and then obviously there's that one guy that's like, it's not Emmitt Smith or Barry Sanders. And then they'll give me some bullshit like, it's Ramondre Stevenson of the Patriots. No, it's not fucking Corey Dillon either, man. Get the fuck out of here, dude. But some flat earthers do cite the Bible, though. And that is...
And you know, it all kind of makes sense.
The Bible itself could be considered conspiracy theory. And I know... Sorry, Christians. There goes our fucking four people that watch this fucking...
Damn it.
Listen to this show. But like you could literally just like if you just go by what your eyes see, you're not gonna have a good time with life. I'm just saying it.
You're not. Yeah, you got to have beliefs. And that's why, like I said, I'm trying to take the best to this theory. But, like, come on. Come on.
My thing though is I don't think some of these people are just saying it just to like piss in our Cheerios.
Yeah, I think
they truly believe
it.
this.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's just a simplistic view of the world that, like, if they can't, and that happened in the old days where, like, if you can't explain something, people kind of just like make shit up. Like, oh
Yeah.
well, like I said, that chariot. Like, oh well, I don't know why it turns dark sometimes. Maybe there's a guy in a chariot that flies across and shuts off the lights. Like, back then, that makes a little bit of sense. Like, oh fuck yeah, dude. Like,
Yeah.
the gods are mad at us, man. Maybe we should not chop off that dude's head.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
and I feel like back then that was how
or
a
an
lot of
earthquake.
decisions were
How the
made.
fuck you gonna explain an earthquake back then? Like, dude, the ground shook, dude. God's fucking pissed.
God's pissed. I'm going to go lay down.
Yeah. They killed Michael because he had to go at one of the farmer's goats. So, yeah, let's not do that.
So, I've been trying to hold off on this one.
Okay.
But there's two theories of the moon for flat earthers.
With flat Earth.
Yeah.
And what's that?
So the first one is I guess it's called the anti-moon. There's an anti-moon that exists, and that is a shadow moon.
What the fuck's an anti-moon?
It's an the
I kind of like it. Sounds like a
it
fucking
does.
Transformers
So
bad guy.
what it is they say that where did it go? Because the sunlight is scattered, it passes through the atmosphere. So as the sunlight's coming through, which would make sense to the other part, as they think the moon's transparent.
Transparent?
Yeah, so the Earth's
Like,
see-through.
so, like, light goes through it?
Yeah, so that's what they're saying. So
Okay.
and that's why these two kind of coincide, which is why I had to say that too, because they're saying that on top of the moon being see-through or
Okay.
transparent, which is where the light comes from, I guess, there's a shadow or a dark object that is also floating around that nobody can see. So when
That's interesting, though.
that's why, but
I feel like we don't know enough about science to disprove that.
and depending on the density of the shadow object at the time,
Yeah.
that's for like eclipses. That's why maybe it looks red, and that's
Okay.
how bright or dark it is. Or they're also claiming that that's why the moon goes away.
And see, like, we're just two guys
Yeah.
in Michigan. So, like, I'm not a scientist, but I always wondered, like, why is the moon only lit up on one side?
Yeah,
The dark side of the moon's always dark,
yeah,
isn't it? Like,
yeah.
from what I've heard my whole life, I mean, even, like, when it turns around, like, it's a new moon. It's all dark out. So, that's weird. I mean, the whole anti-moon thing sounds, like, very, like, cartoony, but, like, I don't know. That's a weird one for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I just get baffled. Like the more I read,
It is,
just-
yeah. There's some crazy. I mean, there's so much in the world we don't know too, which is why we wanted to do this podcast on a conspiracy theory. We picked flat Earth, guys.
we learn, man, and that's cool. You
Yeah.
learn more. So even if I still like disagree, I'm still learning. You know, I'm understanding the theory.
Well, yeah. And
A
if you're
lot
listening to this podcast still, after however long we've been doing it already, then you must at least be interested in the flat Earth theory, at least learning about it. And I think that that's what we're doing. So I think going through this, there's 3 factions researched by a guy named Carlos Diaz Ruiz and Tomas Nielsen on the 3 arguments that flat earthers wield. And it shows 3 factions, each has their own set of beliefs. So there's, even in the flat earth community, there's like a divide. It's like Christianity, but like Catholic, Protestant, and then breaking
makes
down.
sense.
So the first one subscribes to a faith-based conflict in which atheists use science to suppress Christians. So people who don't believe in God say science is why. Like evolution, Big Bang Theory, round Earth, make people believe that God is an abstract idea and he's not real, or they are not real. Instead, their arguments use the scripture, word by word, to support an argument that enables God to really exist. So, like, for example, a literal interpretation of Revelation 7 is, I saw 4 angels standing at the 4 corners of the earth. Indicates the earth must have 4 corners. They're literally taking it literal.
So even at that point, then, the Earth wouldn't even be a disc at that point.
So now we're looking at squares.
Now we're looking at a square
Yes.
or a rectangle Earth.
Well, that completely cancels out pizza. Because if it's a 4-sided pizza, I don't want any of that fucking shit anyway. Like, it's 3 sides or no. Pizza's meant to be triangles, guys. Keep that in your fucking minds. Second...
Totino's.
Yeah, dude. Don't get started on that like fucking bullshit school pizza we used
We'll
to
go to
eat.
Pizza Theory next.
Next is pizza. Second faction believes in an overarching conspiracy for knowledge suppression. So they believe, like, that building upon the premise that knowledge is power, that the Flat Earth conspiracy argues that a shadowy group of elites control knowledge to remain in power. Not gonna lie, there's probably a shadowy group of elites. They're probably not watching this podcast, and if they are, we totally support you. But if you aren't, then fuck the elites. Control knowledge to remain in power. In their view, lying about the fundamental nature of the Earth primes the population to believe a host of other conspiracies. So they frame flat Earth arguments as liberatory, like we're going to liberate our freedom of knowledge. I don't know about that. Like, the Christian one was weird with the 4 sides. Like, they took it so literal. Like, I've seen people take the Bible literally, and it never ends up well. Never ends up well. We've had slaves. We've had gay marriage being attacked. Usually doesn't end up okay. For at least somebody. As for the shadowy elite figures, like, keeping knowledge, I'm sure they are keeping knowledge. I guarantee that there's some shit that we don't know that they do.
And it's probably for the best.
I mean, I would love to know, but like the flat Earth shit, this still doesn't make sense to me. Why that would be kept?
Yeah, it doesn't it doesn't make sense as to why that has to be a secret.
It's weird when the Christian ones make more sense to me than that one, which is weird. The third faction believes that knowledge is personal and experiential, meaning they're dismissive of knowledge that comes from authoritative sources, especially books. Faction would like to find out for themselves whether the Earth is truly flat or round, which makes sense. They want to do the research.
Yeah, they want to find out for real on their own, which is
they distrust books. They distrust math.
Jeez, I mean,
their observations and lived experiences make it appear as if we live on a flat surface, so they just believe that. So it's more experimental. So out of those 3, which one's the most most sane?
The third one's the most sane to me. The
experimental, yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, I stand behind that. If I don't see it, I don't believe it. You know what I mean?
So do you believe in flat Earth?
I don't, because once again, I've seen actual pictures.
So before you got on that plane, though, did you believe in flat Earth?
I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, it's true. You were probably thinking about kid stuff.
You
Like
know
you were a kid,
mean?
yeah.
Like I don't. I guess this just isn't as big of a deal to me. I guess until we started talking about it, and it just started like hurting my brain. You know what I mean? I was just like, "What are you talking about?" Because, like I said, I have been in a plane. I have seen the curvature of the Earth. I've seen it.
You sound like a round earther.
I am a round earther. Badge is a round earther.
He is. So, funnily enough, those experimental guys, there's been some people that have tried to experiment and find out.
They tried to go to space.
I mean, stuff like that, yeah. So, looking at some of this stuff, 2 groups of American flat Earth believers who were attempting to gather first-hand proof of that belief. One came from a YouTube show called Globebusters, not to be confused with Ghostbusters. What are you going to call it? Used a ring laser gyroscope in an attempt to show the Earth was not rotating. Like, I don't know how that gyroscope works, but like they used one to show it wasn't. Instead, they actually detected the actual 15 degree per hour rotation of the Earth.
Shocker.
A measurement they then dismissed as saying it was corrupted. The device was corrupted somehow, picking the rotation of the firmament.
God.
So that's that like bias there. Another group though used lasers in an attempt to show a several mile stretch of water is perfectly flat by measuring the distance between the water level and the laser beam along 3 vertical posts. Now, it should line up right? They were unable to align the beam as they expected to because the surface of the still water was in fact bent by several feet over the distance measured. The experiment was dismissed as inconclusive.
Shocker.
Instead of saying they failed their experiment. That's the problem right there.
It is. You're not admitting you're wrong.
You have to, like, do the research. That's great. But if you're wrong, like...
You have to admit you're wrong. That is
Yeah.
part of science. Stop. Oh, no, there was something wrong. No, it was right. You saw the proof before your eyes, and you didn't want to... Oh, God, dang it. You shouldn't...
I got more.
God.
So,
Oh, God.
Mark Sargent, one of the Flat Earthers, claimed to have watched FlightAware.com, which is I believe it's a website where you can check to see what planes are where, for a very long time to check if any flights travel between continents in the southern hemisphere, which in his disk model would be much farther apart than they are on the globe, right? Because in that disk it'd be like a lot further to go.
Yeah.
He stated he saw no flights and took that as evidence that the world is flat. A Caltech astrophysicist named Hannelore Gerling Dunsmore went to the site and immediately found flights that contradicted his claims. Immediately. He just, like, ignored them.
Because it disapproved his theory.
Because of the solar eclipse. They still pretend like that is proof that the world's flat somehow.
Because the imaginary anti-moon is floating around, too?
I don't know. I really don't. There's actually a satirical documentary film about the flat Earth called Flat Earth to the Edge and Back. Do you know who released that? Logan Paul.
Jesus.
So I don't know if he really believes in it or not. There's no.
Oh.
But the one I want to talk about though is a daredevil named Mike Hughes. He was a daredevil stuntman guy. He planned to use a home-built crude rocket to reach outer space to prove once and for all that the world is flat.
Right, and that's logical. I'm gonna build a spacecraft. I'm gonna go up
If you're
there
so dead sure, yeah.
to make sure. I 1,000,000% agree with that. Do
Well-
that because I promise you, I would if I had the chance.
February 22nd, 2020, right before COVID hit. He did an early deployment, separated the early deployment and separation of the return parachute. So he got up there, allowed his rocket to fall unimpeded from an altitude of several hundred feet, killing him instantly.
Damn it, NASA, you failed us.
Yep, his PR rep stated that he didn't believe in flat Earth and it was a PR stunt to get publicity. Whether he believed in it or not, he died doing it.
Some people are radical like that.
I believe he genuinely believed it, just according to the documentary Rocket Man, Mad Mike's Mission to Prove the Flat Earth. It's actually a documentary about his whole
The whole journey
attempt
to that.
to shoot up there and do it. I remember hearing it on the news at the time. Obviously, he failed at his proof, and like I don't know what he saw when he was up there, but I mean,
one
he
will
died
ever
on the
know.
way out. I mean,
No one will ever know.
next they're gonna say a poison dart was thrown into his neck or
Yeah.
something as he was coming down.
The military shot him down when he was up there and blew up his...
Yeah, like the military's just like, nah, fuck that. So with with that, there are social consequences to flat Earth theory. So the filmmakers behind the Curve, the documentary, they spoke with several people who said that as a result of their flat Earth beliefs, they lost their romantic partners and no longer spoke to many of their friends and family. It turns out that if you're a big flat earther, a lot of people don't want to talk to you anymore, I guess. I don't know what that's about. One said he was tired of being told he was an idiot. Which,
God, I don't mean to laugh. Sorry.
but the Facebook group actually was made because of this. It was called Flat Earth Match. And it's on there. I actually looked it up.
It's a real thing?
You can look it up on Facebook right now. It's a group called Facebook Flat Earth Match. I'm sorry. And it's a dating site used by flat earthers to find romantic partners who share their beliefs. You thought farmers.com was something. Like, we're all about flat earth here.
Get me on that flat earth match.
I know if I'm looking for a wife, she better believe in the fucking earth being flat or else it ain't gonna work, you know?
It ain't gonna work for me.
It's weird that that's like got a whole site dedicated. There's
Weird.
about 700 people on that, I believe.
But I feel like going into that, I think that if stuff really went down that way, then I think the people that are losing relationships to that, they must be going at it at an extreme level. I mean, because you should be able to have a relationship and have crazy beliefs like that. And I will say crazy. It's a crazy belief because what we're talking about, we've already seen 4 different shapes of the earth. We've already seen different conspiracies as far as the shape, if the moon exists, if it's transparent, there's already so many different things. So I feel like if the relationship's ending, it's because these people are just taking it so damn far and they're probably really sensitive about it. So like they're tired of hearing their significant other going, the round moon looks so beautiful tonight. And they're like, whoa, dude. Whoa. And they're getting like all fucking sad. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? You probably want to do this, you know, and I bet you they're the ones that are getting so goddamn...
Let me get a lasso and I can put it around the moon and bring it to you.
No, dude. So I feel like if that's why relationships are failing, that's why is because super sensitive.
I don't believe it has to be only flat earth. Like, if your relationship's failing because you believe they're... Like, I could... Like, for example, like, I could tell my wife, like, hey, like, I don't believe the earth is round anymore. And she'd be like, that's dumb as fuck. Okay.
Yeah, you know, it's...
Like, that's it. Like,
yeah.
And I could be like, dude, I love the flat earth. Like, she'd probably, like, tease me for a long time. So I'd have to be really sensitive, or there has to be more to it. Whether your relationship's bad at home, or maybe if you believe in flat earth, you're more likely to believe other crazy-ass conspiracies,
yeah.
too. Which
Like what I'm
we'll
saying.
get into
There
other
has to
times.
be more
There has to be more to it, yeah.
There has to be. It can't just be like,
Because
I
flat
love
earth...
you. We're married. Hey, I believe in flat earth. Get the fuck out of my house.
Did you say fat earth? Dude, that earth is fat as fuck. It's got yacht on it.
Flat.
That is a nice fucking earth, man.
Oh, look at that juicy fat earth.
I ain't never
flat
seen an
earth.
Australia bounce out like that.
Oh, I hate you sometimes.
No, but I like flat earth is like, it's a little bit wild, but also at the same time, I don't think it's out of this world with the shit we hear every day. So I don't see why it would ruin a relationship unless things are already rough.
Right.
And I will say that, like, say everyone leaves you and you're a flat earther, like, you're going to try and find other people like you because, like, and more than likely because you're finding other flat earthers that believe your stuff, it's going to be harder for you to leave those type of people because you have no one left.
Right.
Like, and that's just any type of organization like that.
I mean,
like,
and if you go that route, I mean, if that's a safe route for you, then, I mean, good for you. You know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, but then we got people taking rockets up to the fucking stars and dying.
well, guess what?
But
I'm all for that, dude. Like, I hate that I'm upset that I'm not going to know what that dude saw. You know what I mean?
yeah, I don't know if he wrote anything down. I didn't see anything
Because,
on there, but
you know, like that
Mike Hughes, everyone.
NASA, you don't know what yeah, I get it. Like, they're NASA. It's a big company.
And I'm
It's
sure
a-
NASA doesn't tell you everything either.
Right. I'm sure they see stuff up there that they'd be like, we should probably not tell people.
Well, like we just talked at the beginning of the episode, aliens, bro. There's
Yeah,
gotta be
dude.
something.
yeah.
So,
yeah, there's
but
certain
what's-
stuff.
well, what's so crazy about like flat Earth when we believe that there might be little fucking gray men up there?
See, but that's what I was trying to say is, you don't know, everyone depicts them as little green guys, you know what I mean?
said gray.
Or
I said
gray,
gray.
whatever.
The
But-
grays, man.
But actually, you know, we'll do the alien thing later.
Yeah, we'll get to
So-
the alien episode eventually.
But that's a scary one. I did see a scary topic from a couple of years ago. It kind of got me like really nervous about aliens. There's a government official that said exactly the aliens that you want to encounter and the ones if you see them you need to go away. And I was just like, what the hell?
Nice.
Are you
That sounds
talking
like a
about?
fun topic. Down
It
the
is.
road.
So yeah, the alien. If we ever get to it, yeah.
Oh, we will. They-
God, I hope we get Tom DeLonge on for that dude. That dude would probably talk for hours. Yeah.
For all 4 of our listeners.
Yeah, Tom DeLonge. You know what I'm talking
I know
about.
who he is, yeah.
He's the singer for Blink-182.
Yeah, dude, he's a huge
Dude.
UFO guy. They actually took some of his videos and
Yeah.
released it to the public. Yeah, I do know who you're talking about.
Yeah. He's like, aliens are real. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's
Yeah, dude, he's dead
right.
set on that shit. Based on polling, in 2020, they found out 7% of Brazilians believed in a flat Earth. In 2018, the YouGov poll found that about 4% of the population of the United States believed in flat Earth, which is a pretty hefty amount. 2021, guess how much believed the Earth was flat?
In 2021?
This is 3 years later. So 4% then.
So it probably... Wait, it was only... It was. I thought you said, wasn't that 44%?
No, 4. Just 4.
4. Just 4%. So
In
I'm going to
2018.
say... we're going to push it to 12. I bet you we're at 12%.
Close, actually. 10%.
10%,
Yeah, 10%
yep.
of the... and about 3% of British people support flat Earth.
We're not failing as a human race, are we?
I mean, it's... And I think it's misinformation sometimes. And people want to believe things. And it's a loss of trust in our institutions, really. Like, this is just all institutions, including NASA. They're all going to take hits. With that, I mean, like, the term flat earther, to me, is usually used in a derogatory sense, right? Like, when you say flat earther, you're thinking of someone crazy. Ridiculously crazy, old views. I think people have been calling it derogatory words for, like, hundreds of years. But I think that, like, just based off what we've talked about today, I do believe a lot of them are genuine in their beliefs. And from the 3 different types, we got the religious ones, we got the ones that believe in shadowy figures, and then we got the ones that just
Want to see it
believe you see it to believe it. And I think the ones that see it to believe it definitely, like, I know people like that. I know people like that with the shadowy figures too, though. Like, we're like, dude, don't trust anybody. I also know the religious ones where they're like, if the Bible says it, it's true.
Yeah. You know what? And to each their own. We're not here saying you can't believe it. We're just here to talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it's a fun topic to talk about. Like, just, it's interesting. I think
I think it was fun because neither of us really...
I had no fucking idea before I got into this. I'm like, I know that people do some flat earth shit, but, like, I think it's kind of crazy. But, like, looking at it from a different angle, like, I went in with my eyes open on it. Yes, I'm going to just state it right now. I am not a flat earther. I believe the earth is round. I'm going to assume you think the same.
I think that's very clear.
But that being said, I understand more of, like, from their shoes why they believe certain things. Like I said, like, if you're super Christian, of course you're going to believe what the Bible says literally. Doesn't have to be literally, but a lot of people do go literally on it.
To the book. Yeah.
Same thing with the people with shadowy figures. It's hard to trust the people in government when so much has been hidden from us over the years that came out as hidden, whether it be
Which is funny because it's been a lot lately. Now that the internet's getting crazier, you're starting to just like
like, there's-
everything's starting to pour out.
I mean, I still to this day hear about Kennedy's assassination and who did it or did this. and
Yeah,
that.
the
Dude,
driver did it. Was the latest one I've heard.
It's like 60 years, man. Like,
yeah,
like at this point, like, I would love to know because I'm a history buff, but
Yeah.
like the average person doesn't give a fuck about JFK anymore. Like, I do, but they probably don't.
right.
Or whether it be like, remember the Maine back in 1901 when the Maine blew up or whatever, and they blamed it on someone who it was actually an accident, and we went to war for it. Or testing like syphilis or all these different like diseases on like African Americans in like the 30s through 50s. Don't fact check me here because I know it happened, but I don't know when. But like They were like full blown like injecting bullshit into people back then. Like
I'm not
crazy.
shocked.
Yeah, and
Our
that's the thing is
government
we
doesn't
aren't shocked.
surprise me, dude. Government stuff does not surprise me. If you hear anything shady, I'm just like, yeah, they probably did it.
Well, we could get into vaccine and all that shit. We're not
Yeah,
going to do that
we're
today.
not.
But like, I know personally, like, that I talked to a few people that I know that were like, dude, I'm African American, and you ain't touching me with that fucking needle. Like, it had nothing to do with like why certain like Caucasian people were like, no, you can't vaccine me. I don't want to get no mark of the devil. This was more like, nah, man, we've seen you guys do shit in the past. We ain't stupid. We
Yeah.
ain't doing it again. That's losing trust in your establishment, and that's something that the U.S. and a lot of the other places in the world need to probably come to terms with, because that's also why this shit's going like crazy.
Yeah, because
It's not just because people are stupid or like, I just believe in flat Earth. No, they're not dumb. Like, they don't trust you.
yeah, that's really it. It's like you've let us down on so much already that's starting to come to light. Like maybe
Yeah, like
maybe
they
I'll
trust the Bible. They trust like things they can see with their own eyes. It's all trust.
Yeah.
And I think like whether it be Watergate scandal with Nixon, like our institution has slowly frayed away that trust. And I think that's what you're seeing with the political climate in America right now. Not having to do with flat Earth, but like in a sense, like very conservative people believe in flat Earth most of the time. Not always, but most of the time. And I think it shows. So, no, I'm not a flat earther. It's a fun conversation.
Yeah, I learned a lot.
I learned a lot too. Like I think it's like just doing the review for these things is really kind of like the research, and like reviewing it with you at the time after I do the research is kind of fun, just to kind of talk to my buddy about it. And that's what we're here to do, is like talk about this shit. So like once again,
It's all opinion based.
opinion based, all for fun. Two dudes who grew up together who were just talking about random fucking topics that we may have talked about in the past, may not have. I don't think we've ever talked about flat Earth.
I don't think we
don't
have,
think
and
that-
I don't ever plan on talking about it again.
Yeah, this unless it's. But if it does come up, you have information on it now. You're like,
That is true. You know, I guess I can't say that, because if someone was to like, you know, get on our Facebook page or email us whatever and be like, hey,
They might say, "Fuck you, dude."
Right.
Flat Earth is like,
yeah, or
life.
throw me some facts, dude. If you're a flat earther and you're listening to this, and you got straight up facts, like you got photos, you have like legit proof, and I mean legit proof.
or just tell us why you think it, man. Like, I'm interested. I'm honestly curious.
You're that's
like, it's,
yeah, okay. I mean, because I guess too, instead of us researching off of the internet, if you legit talk to somebody who's like, yeah, like this is why, I guess that's pretty cool, because you're actually getting a straight
Yeah.
fact.
I would love to bring a flat earther on here. I would do another episode just to listen to their stuff, like just a little like recap later.
See, I would be scared too, just because of my reactions to a lot of the stuff I hear.
Well, yeah, you'd have to
I
come on here
wouldn't
and take it with a grain of
want.
salt.
I know. I just wouldn't want to offend nobody, and that's not my intention. Is to offend anybody.
Dude, I think I offended 4 people on the last like 3 of these we've done, like at least. But I think I fucked up a Russian name in the middle of something here,
Dude,
like.
for sure, for
But
sure.
it's one of those things though where like we're podcasting, we're talking about some cool topics. Next time we talk about a conspiracy theory, I'm hoping to do a certain one, but we'll get to that later. I'll talk to you off the mic for that one.
I'm excited for it. I'm waiting to hear.
We obviously pick our topics by random. So if you ever wonder, like, or if you want us to do a certain topic, let us know, and we'll just like throw that into the random pile and maybe hopefully pull that out of the hat. But yeah, we plan on doing all kinds of different topics. Let us know. You can follow us on Podbean
Yep.
and or Facebook. We are on Facebook as well. It is the Wolf and Badge Podcast. And I'm Wolf.
I'm Badge.
And thank you for listening.
Thanks for hanging
Wolf
out.
out.